The league off-season is here and there are no pro games for me to break down. So instead, I'm here to help you become a better player. On the agenda today is Milio, a champion which I can guarantee you're playing wrong, as this enchanter disengaged champion is nuts. And for the longest time now, I've had no idea why no one has been picking him up. He has heals, shields, and a goddamn cleanse for an ultimate. You just don't need more. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to carry on Milio. But before we can do that, we have to go over Milio's abilities, as the passive has a few really cool parts to it. Milio's passive applies a buff to your ally's next ability or auto attack, dealing an extra 7 to 15% damage of your ally's attack damage, depending on your level. This works with any of his abilities, even his Q, as if you hit do someone, it applies that passive. And that's the best place to stand, with the Q behind someone, as it's a skill shot that knocks back an enemy, dealing damage and slowing them for 1.5 seconds. You can also use it on a minion where it has a similar effect, but it has a slightly bigger range, making it great to try and help with wave clear. The coolest play I've seen anyone do with this ability is Mickey X, who stunned Kaiser out per ultimate in a pro game. This champ is just sick. Now for his W, this ability spawns an adorable little blob that follows a chosen ally, creating a healing circle and applying the passive every 3 seconds to someone in it. But the real highlight isn't just a heal or burn, it's the incredible attack range buff, as at level 1 it provides a 10% range increase, but when it's fully maxed it's a 20% increase, and this is significant, as if you have a champion like Caitlyn, you can attack the tower and not get hit yourself. This ability is perfect for keeping you and your ally safe in laning phase, in team fights, and even taking towers. For the E Warm Hugs, it grants one ally a shield and movement speed for 2.5 seconds, and of course applies the passive. You can get 2 charges, letting you do a combo like this, which procs your passive 5 times on your ally, giving them a huge damage buff. Milio's ultimate is one of the strongest parts of his kit. The main reason for it is that it cleanses any CC except for airborns in a circle around him, so if you aren't playing against the Yasuo, this is pretty useful in any team fight. For what to max, all the guys that I've seen so far are telling you to max E, but I disagree. W seems hella broken in certain situations. The extra range if played around lets you bully out enemies in lane without taking any damage, and if you do, you can just heal it straight back up. The only time I agree to max E is with an Ezreal or an AP carry, as extra attack range doesn't help them at all. But if you're with any other ADC, I always prefer W. After maxing W or E, depending on your lane partner, you go for the other ability and then max the Q. Of course, take ultimate whenever you can. For rune page, you just take the Ares one. It's just better than anything else out there, as it covers you for a little bit of your mana, and most importantly, Ares is busted with all of his abilities. For itemization, swiftness boots are number 1, especially over lucidity, as this needs to be rushed every game, as more mobility keeps you safer. Afterwards, you pick yourself up a Kindle gem into a Moonstone, because the passive for Moonstone gives either one person a massive shield or heal, or gives 2 people a decent one. This means that Milio can E this guy over the wall and help out others. Pairing that up with the W as well, this keeps him completely safe. If you want to play around that style a bit more, you can always pick up a Redemption as well, so it's just heals on shields on heals, and it's a fantastic time. But if you're slightly more ahead, you can actually go for Echoes of Helia, as it gives you a little bit more damage for the team comp. Here's a few other items that you can pick up depending on the game state, but there's a few items we need to go a little bit more in depth on. One of them is Oblivion Orb into something like Soroka, which you pick up before anything else, as your W procs it on every single member of your team, meaning that Soroka you want to deal with or Swain completely don't exist anymore. Lastly, when you get your support item, make sure it's Bulwark of the Mountain. This is because in solo queue, whenever you want to try and get a ward or go somewhere dangerous, that shield gives you a higher % chance of surviving in the game. There's a major misconception when we get to champions Milio can play with down towards the bot lane, because the high attack speed AD carries are actually not the best for him. You want somebody who deals high damage, so someone that is an AP carry can do pretty well for Ziggs, Brand, Vel'Koz, Zera, Swain, but you really are looking for mostly a Draven, an Ashe, a Lucian, something that can be aggressive with him. So down below I'm going to put down a little Google Doc of the best AD carries and the worst AD carries and AP carries for him to play with. For Milio's early game playstyle is trying to harass the enemy with ultra attacks and that Q to keep them at range. This means that hard engaged champions are pretty alright for you to go against if you have that Q. So Rel, Leona, Soroka, because of what we talked about earlier, and Renata are pretty good matchups. For bad ones, Nautilus, Blitzcrank and Thresh are pretty difficult, as if they hit a hook onto you, you are just dead. Once we get to mid or late game in these team fights, you are practically like any other enchanter. The main thing you need to know is your Q is your only safety in this game. So if you miss that, you are going to be completely dead. For the ultimate, make sure to use it only on hard CC and then for heals afterwards if there is none. But just play it like you would with any other enchanter. So in conclusion, this champion is great as a blind pick in support, as it has very little that counters it. So please pick it up more. This champion truly deserves it. It deserves it so much. I'm going to be starting up my streams again consistently for Monday, Wednesday and Fridays every morning in the UK time between 9 AM and 12 AM. So if you got any questions, please come in and ask them. And lastly, the next video is going to be about a game breakdown again. But I was wondering what you guys wanted to see, as recently I had Lost Rotone versus T1, but that game wasn't the highest quality. So if you want to see that, I can do that. If you want to see anything else, make sure to comment down below. But that is going to be it. Make sure to like and subscribe and have a good day.